Also been an acceleration in the building of Israeli settlements, which are illegal under international law. Well, our international editor Jeremy Bowen has spent time in the occupied West Bank, and a warning: his report contains distressing images from the start.
It took 10 days for Israel to release the body of Ordi Hadawin so he could be buried in Al-Khair, the village where he lived and where he was killed by a Jewish settler. On the 28th of July, Ordi filmed this video of a confrontation at the gates of the Jewish settlement right next to the village. Local people believed the digger was going to cut off their water and power. On another camera, the settler at the gate is Yinon Levy, already sanctioned by Britain and the EU for threatening Palestinians at gunpoint and destroying their property to force them off their land. Ordi's video is on the left. Levy raises his weapon, seems to take aim, and fires. The shot hits Ordi. He drops his camera as he falls. He died soon after. Levy pleaded self-defense to manslaughter and was freed by a sympathetic judge. Ordi Hadawin was a well-known Palestinian activist and journalist. His blood has been left where he fell, around 40 or 50 yards away from where the shot was fired. Family and village elders who gathered to mourn him said he took no part in the confrontation, filming, holding his 5-year-old son, Watan, who saw him die. They said 16 of their relatives were arrested by Israel after the killing. Unlike the shooter, some are still being held.
Life is difficult. The Israelis are harassing our livestock and detaining people. They want us to leave our land and village.
We are standing next to your brother's blood here. What impact will his killing have on the village?
His death has left a hole in our hearts, but it's given us strength to keep fighting for our land.
The violence started during work to extend the Jewish settlement of Carmel. The project continues, protected by Israeli security forces. Violence by Jewish settlers against West Bank Palestinians has increased sharply since Hamas attacked Israel on the 7th of October 2023. The United Nations estimates there are 4 attacks every day in the West Bank aimed at forcing Palestinians out. This little oasis was chosen by a local Jewish leader, Mayor Simcha, for our talk on the day of the funeral in Al-Khair. Today in Al-Khair, there's the funeral of an Arab guy. Thank God, he said. Religious settlers like Simcha believe God gave this land to the Jews. He is a happy man. The Palestinians, he says, have lost hope.
There is still opposition to our presence in the land, but the enemy is starting to slowly understand they have no future here. Ask you and the people of the world, why are you so interested in those Palestinians so much? Why are you obsessed with them? The Palestinians don't interest me. I care about my people.
The Israeli military, the IDF, is also putting Palestinian civilians under pressure. One example, back in February, as the army attacked armed groups in Tulkarem's refugee camps in the northern West Bank, soldiers cleared areas, Gaza-style, destroying civilian infrastructure. 6 months later, the camps are largely empty. Most of more than 30,000 Palestinian civilians the army ordered out of their homes across the northern West Bank have not been allowed back. Only a few have. This couple let us follow them home. She asked not to be identified. It was the first time she'd seen their home since February. The house was burnt out. The TV and the fridge were gone. They believe all done by IDF soldiers who had controlled the area.
When I saw it, I thought, this isn't a house. It's a nightmare. I wish I was dreaming and hadn't seen the house like this. What did we do to deserve this? We are just civilians. Our dreams, our joys, our gatherings, everything was in this house. What am I supposed to tell my children when they come and see the house like this?
Next to a new fence erected by Israel between the Palestinian village of Sinjar and the West Bank's main north-south road, Yehuda Shaul, a prominent Israeli opponent of the occupation, offered an analysis rare among Israelis, widespread among Palestinians, and increasingly accepted in Europe.
I think while we see a war of extermination in Gaza, in the West Bank we see a massive campaign by the state and the settlers in order to basically ethnically cleanse as much land of the West Bank from Palestinians.
Of course, if Mr. Netanyahu was here, or any of his supporters, they'd say, what a load of rubbish. This is about Israeli security against terrorism and attacks on Jews. What do you make of that?
If October 7 taught us one thing is, if you really care about protecting Israelis and Palestinians' life, you need to take care of the root causes of the violence.
Which are?
Decades of brutal military occupation, displacement of Palestinians in a conflict that is going on for about 100 years.
Inside Sinjar, the mayor showed me where Jewish settlers killed 2 Palestinian men a month ago. One of them was a US citizen, like many Palestinians in this part of the West Bank.
They attacked us in the morning, in the evening, in the night, and just to immigrate from here.
And you're going to stay or you're going to go?
We will stay. By the way, I have a green card from America, and my wife and my kids is American citizen, okay? But after I see this, I have a decision. I will stay here till I die.
At some stage, the war in Gaza will wind down. These hills and valleys are still heating up. Jeremy Bone, BBC News, on the West Bank.